A little aloe black taking us into Faith Friday this time around. Yes, it's our favorite segment of the week, and our next guest is joining us just in time for Father's Day. He's a dad of two, a pastor, podcaster, now author. Just released his first book. It's called The 5 Masculine Instincts, the guide to becoming a better man, and the man himself, Pastor Chase Replogle of Bent Oak Church in Springfield, Missouri, here in studio with us. Good to have you here with us. And we talk about the title of the book, 5 Masculine Instincts. You said it's important to pay attention to our instincts, our desires, something we often don't do enough of. Can you explain what these things we need to be paying attention to in ourselves?
Sure. So one of the things that struck me as men is so many of the conversations we have are about external things, the sort of caricatures, the cliches, the stereotypes, the roles. And as I'm raising a son myself and have a congregation full of men, I'm more and more aware that the internal conversations about character is really where change comes from. And one of the things a great book can do is it gives us language for conversations that maybe we've struggled to have, or feelings we've had and just didn't know how to express them. So what I hope the book does is it helps men look at those instincts inside, gain some perspective on where they need to be challenged, and then gives them the language they need to have better conversations about how to become a better man.
Okay, we just don't have the habit of doing that. Just to hear about men, I've never had a conversation with a dad, granddad, friends around me, uncles, talking about paying attention to the things you're talking about. So is this a whole new conversation or a movement we need to kind of get started?
Well, you know, part of the book's based on the Apostle Paul gives this little piece of advice to a young man named Timothy that he was mentoring. And he says that he makes progress by learning to keep a close watch on his life and on his faith. And I think that's a really interesting image for how we grow as men. You've got to have something bigger than yourself, your faith you're living toward, but you've also got to work that not just to the externals, but deeper into who you are as a man and grow in better character as a part of that process.
Look, a lot of women do watch our show. Majority of our audience, really, are women on the show. Is there a way we can be supported and the women in our lives can help us on this journey in some way? Could you give them some advice?
Yeah, sure. I think there's far more overlap here than sometimes we realize, but it's important for men to be able to have those conversations with other men, but I think also with spouses. My wife's been a huge help in me processing what is an instinct that I should trust and which is an instinct that needs to be challenged. And look, I'm raising a son and a daughter right now, and my desire is for both of them to learn to do this well. How do you pay closer attention to your own life and closer attention to what you have by faith as well?
All right. You said by faith. I think I saw a picture of your son there, but it is Faith Friday, so we always, of course, hand it over to our Faith Friday guests and give our viewers some wisdom, inspiration going into the weekend. So the floor is
Father's
yours.
Day coming up, of course. I think you have a great tradition. I think you have a tradition of doing your daughter's hair as a way of intentionally spending time with her. I think that's a great picture of fatherhood. Nobody says you have to be an expert. I doubt you're an expert hairstylist, right? But the point is, how do we just spend time with our children? And I hope this Father's Day you can do that. The responsibility of fatherhood is really, that word responsibility is just responsive. How do I show up? How do I be present? One of the best practices of faith I know is just putting yourself in that position of showing up. And how do you do that as a father? So maybe this weekend, a good prayer going into it is, God, how are you a heavenly father to me that runs out to embrace lost children? But how can I be a better father going into this weekend? Don't spend it on the couch. Find ways to spend time with your kids. I think you're a great model of that as well.
You know, and the reason I do it, the hair, is because it's the one thing we can't focus on anything else. There's not a TV going. We don't have an iPad going. We don't have a choice but to sit there and spend time together doing nothing else, and I love it. So that is great advice. It's good to have you here in studio. Congrats on the book.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
All right. And Pastor Chase Replogle, you can get the book. It's called The 5 Masculine Instincts, a guide to becoming a better man. You can get it now everywhere that books are sold.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.